Yeah. You gotta work. You gotta work, grind, shine, it's mine. Gotta show everybody it's my time. Getting here, you gotta work, grind, shine. Never mind who talking down, cause they lying. Don't talk, you gotta work.
Welcome to Let's Talk with Carl Lee. Let's Talk is proudly presented by attorney Frank Walker. Real talk, real experience, real results. FrankWalkerLaw.com. Let the conversation begin on Let's Talk.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Carl Lee with Let's Talk. I have in the building Hollis Lewis.
Hello, hello.
And the football queen, Lisa Otey.
Hello.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have a guest that and I even wrote down some notes, but I'm not even going to go on the notes just because if you don't know this name, Archie Talley, likely you are too young. That's the only justification. But I will say this. Archie went to Salem College. He's out of Washington, D.C., went to Salem College, was considered, or is, at that time, the best, been voted as the best basketball player in college football or basketball in the state. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, yes.
No, I know you're not modest on that.
So much stuff, yeah.
There's so, I mean, man, when I looked at this, there was so much information on you that it was amazing. At Salem, you broke their school record and the WVSIC AC scoring record in 1976 with 40.8 points a game.
Jeez.
I mean, 40. Not 30, not even 20, but 40. That in its own right is an amazing feat, you know. So let me ask this question. And you got drafted and you went to the Knicks.
Yes.
And then the Nets. And then you ended up going overseas and you played for how many years there?
10.
So when you look back at your amazing career, and let's just talk about here in West Virginia at Salem, when you came here, and literally everybody, if Salem came to Charleston, everybody in Charleston is coming to watch this game because of you. In that time, did you know like that you were the man that everybody wanted to see?
No, I did not. Coming from a city like Washington, D.C., there was talent everywhere all the time. I mean, we played, if you saw a playground, that's when we played on the playgrounds, and the playgrounds were packed. Rec centers, everything was packed. We didn't have leagues and all that stuff because you had to pay money to play in them. So everybody, I mean, you name them. We were on the playground, Adrian Dantley, you just named the guys. So we knew we could play, but we did not really know how good we were until we left D.C. So when I first came to Salem, my first game as a freshman, I'll never forget this. Now, you remember, this is normal to me to come up and shoot 35 feet. I mean, I just did it in high school.
Right.
Let me see.
And this is before the 3-point line.
Yeah, I've never played. Yeah, I've never played with a 3-pointer. Never. Even in the pros, it came the second year I retired from the pros, the 3-pointers. So I never played one. So the first game I played as a freshman at Salem, I come up the court, and they were playing a 2-1-2, and you know basketball, 2-1-2 zone. Now, where I'm from, in most cities, we don't respect any zone. A zone can't guard a guy that could really, not just me, but anybody. I've seen you play. No, I've seen you shoot now. Hey, if you can shoot.
Scary thought.
My thing is, if you can shoot, you can shoot, you know. And if you are prepared to get the ball and shoot it before the defense gets there, no zone can guard you. I don't care what kind of zone it is. And if they pass the ball and move it and all those things. So I could do all of that. So when they were playing a 2-1-2, they were playing all the way back at the inside of the top of the key. And I'm looking, I come up the court, half court, I said, is this candid camera? I said, wait. I said, are they going to play that far back? And I'm 18 years old. I didn't know the deal. So I said, okay. So I come up to court. I take literally 2 steps from the half-court line. You know what a circle is?
Mm-hmm.
Right there by the circle. 2.5. I go up. My coach said, no. Good shot, Arch. Good shot, baby. Good shot. Because he didn't, he seen me shooting practice. He's like, oh, my God. Good shot. Oh. So I said, they're going to have to come out of that. So it took them a little while, and they came out of it. Now, after that game, as a freshman, I was never guarded by one player. I was never guarded man-to-man. I was guarded boxing one. You know what a boxing one is?
Yeah.
And if you score 15 points.
And just for those who don't know, boxing one, where you have the 4 players playing zone and then 1 player guarding me
everywhere I go, even in the dormitory.
Everywhere.
I'm kidding.
Everywhere.
Hey.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And you ask any scorer, ask Steph Curry, I don't care what era, ask any scorer in any time, a real boxing one, if you score 15, you're not going to get 20. If you score 15 to 18 points, you had a great night.
You're good.
And I was getting 50.
Right.
But I didn't know. I was young. Never smoked, never drank, never got tired. So I didn't really know how special it was. We beat Fairmont State first time in history, and they closed the school. They closed Salem. Have you ever heard that?
It's a holiday.
They closed the school.
They made a holiday.
They closed the university. I don't know about rivals. I just know these guys can play, and I'm used to guys that can play. We beat them. They were number 1 in the nation at the time. I didn't know that. I was just playing against guys that can play. They closed the school. I've never heard that before.
So they took a holiday after y'all done
took a holiday.
Wow.
But my point, what I found out, and I can give you all kinds of examples, but what I found out about West Virginia, what was special about here, the people, the littlest things that you think are little are big to them. And it didn't mean a whole lot. Well, I ain't gonna say it didn't mean a whole lot because I wanted to win all the time. But I saw how special it was to them. That's what got me thinking. I said, wait a minute, I got to do this for them. Then it translated to the kids. I'm always a kids guy. The only time my coach and I ever gotten, not in an argument, because we were very close. My coach and I, he's like a father to me. The only time he used to get mad at me was when after the games, I would sign every autograph. And I was the first small college player to have a press conference because so much media was there across the state and, Ohio and Kentucky. I would do everyone individually. He said, Archie, you cannot do everyone. You can't. And I'm a media guy. You know me. I'm a media guy.
Yeah.
So I said, Coach, no, it's 2 things I am. I'm a media guy. I love the media. I don't know where all these guys get this hate. I love the media my whole life. D.C., everywhere. And kids. Those are my 2 pet peeves. Wow. And I told him, I said, let me tell you something, Coach. I'm going to do every one of these. If I got to walk back to Salem, and I meant it, I'm going to do that. And kids, don't get me started. You know how kids are. They never get tired. Give me an autograph. Give me an autograph. So I'm signing. And Coach said, Archie, you cannot just sign. No, Coach said, Archie, just sign your name. Because we got to get out of here. We got to go back to school. We got to go to class in the morning. We got to eat and all that stuff. I said, Coach, I'm not just signing my name. I never signed my name. I used to wait till the kids come. And it was line, man. They had like 100 or so kids in line. And I talked to each of them individually. Each of them.
That's great.
They get there and I said, what's your name? Because see, with a child, you guys have kids. I don't, but I'm married to what I do. You have children. The littlest things to us mean a lot to them. Yep. You're famous to them. You're famous to them. You're famous to them.
Right.
If you just say their name, they remember that. I got police officers walking up to me and said, Archie Talley, I'm 48 years old. I remember when you came to my elementary school. I said, what?
And I'm one of those kids. I remember you coming to the Boys and Girls Club. You came to the Boys and Girls Club like 3 or 4 times. I remember you coming to my school at Glenwood. Like, I remember that. And I remember, just with the ball, He would have the ball because did you play for Harlem Globetrotters? Or you just do the trick?
I was there. No, I was there.
Yeah.
And got released, but I was at both camps.
Okay.
Training camp and veteran camp.
Yeah. So I remember they would tell us the stories about your college days, the pros, playing for the Nets. That's what I remember specifically, and the Harlem Globetrotters. But just doing the tricks, and just like what I remember the most is just the graciousness. Like you would what you saying is not a lie, because you would sit there, you would talk to us, you could feel the love and the energy. A lot of times people just go in there, they got the obligation, they go in and come out. I remember you would spend the time, particularly at the Boys and Girls Club, just hollering at us, shooting with us, doing all the little tricks we thought was just like out of this world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I appreciate you for that, brother.
But I'm glad you said that, because every interview I do, and I don't degrade guys because we're older now, and a lot of guys that we knew of each other and the guys that were famous before, Carl, you and I got in the pros and all that. You know these guys now. We know them. I mean, they're older, but it's like a fraternity. You're older and you're finished with it. And, hey, I remember you and this and that. And a lot of the older guys, like Earl of Pearl, he's a good guy, good friend. Walt Frazier. I know Kareem. I don't really know him. But my point in saying this is a lot of these guys that were huge, and they probably still are, they can't understand why they can't work with kids now because they were this famous person. I said, let me tell you something, guys. I said, there's one thing I can tell you about. I don't care how big you are. I don't care if you're in politics. I don't care if you're the biggest politician. You could be the president. You could be a movie star, a TV star, an athlete, famous enough. People do not play around with their children.
Nope.
Facts.
No.
100%.
Amen.
Period.
And kids remember that.
Period.
Kids remember
They
how you treat them.
Right.
How you treat them. Yeah. And it's one thing about, and if they say, oh, come on, Archie, I'm Kareem, I'm this or that. I said, watch. I said, try to do something and fail with their children. They will turn on you. They will turn on you in a heartbeat. So my point to them is there's something about children that they see in you, their eyes light up and things, and you can't explain it. You just have to have it. God gives you that.
100%.
Let me jump in real quick. At least I know you got your stuff. And to that, man, like I don't care. Like I get cards. People will send cards in the mail for me to sign. I sign every single one of them, put them back in the envelope, ship them back out.
And get a P.O. box so they don't put your home address on the internet, Coach. I had to cut somebody out for that.
I know that was an issue,
P.O.
but
box,
still,
please.
they already got it. I mean, I sent out, and I'm making the point that, for players, athletes, anybody comes up to you and asks you to sign your name or to do anything that is only going to take a second.
Right.
It is worth it for that kid. It is worth it for even that crazy adult male that's dying to get your autograph on something. He'll say, put it on my shirt. Just put it on my shirt. I'm going to put it on your shirt because, like, I can see and I can feel what this is to you. And to me, I can't say no. There's just no place to say no matter where you're at.
Exactly.
And it's not that big of a deal.
I'm glad. I wish we could put that into a quote in a book. You can't. No, I'm serious. You can't. I wish all the guys now, and again, we're older, man. We're 70s, 80s, and they finally understand it. I said, but guys, it's too late now. I mean, it's never too late, but I mean,
You've already been judged.
You've been judged.
That person who you didn't, so I didn't sign for Lisa, and now she's grown up, and she's not forgetting that.
She remembers
she's going to remember that.
Like an elephant.
Children remember that.
Oh, absolutely.
They remember it, and my thing is, guys say, well, Archie, look, you've been in this world of notoriety and all this kind of stuff. I said, look. They said, but sometimes you have a bad day. I said, let me tell you something about having a bad day. We're human. Everyone has a bad day. But you get a lot of benefits for being a professional athlete or in the limelight. A lot of benefits. So if you're having a bad day, stay home. No. Stay home. If you're out, suck it up, give a phony smile if you have to.
Yep.
But you sign children. Now, adults may understand. I sign everybody's.
Me too.
Adults may understand. I don't know. I get upset when they don't sign adults, but children, there's no excuse for not signing a child's order. I don't care what kind of hurry you're in. Stay home, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, you get money. I mean, when I was coming up in the NBA, and this tell you, because a lot of people say, Archie, why the NBA guys so broke now? I said, they're not broke. We didn't make any money. I said, well, what you talking about broke? They said, well, Steph Curry making $50 million a minute.
Yeah.
I said, well, you know what we made? And a lot of people look at me and say, oh, my gracious, I didn't know that. You guys made a little more than us, Carl, but you know what the minimum salary was in the NBA? The minimum. Not the average, but the minimum. $30,000 a year. $30,000.
We only had you about 10. We only had you about 10.
Well, that's all we made. And when we were getting per diem, it was $53 a day. That was almost more than my father made in a week, and my father worked 10 hours a day as a chef. I was looking at that. I said, my gracious, $53 a day to eat? I thought that was my salary.
Yes.
And the veterans were saying, man, spend that money. We're going 2 a day. You need that money. You better spend that money, man. But my point is, it was so different. And a lot of guys had a lot of people to take care of. They're not, I mean, some people blow their money, but I said most guys don't blow their money.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Most guys don't. You know guys.
Yep.
They're taking care of a lot of people that you don't know about.
Right. Yep.
And even
That's
the
a fact.
ones that got money are taking care of a lot of people that you have no idea.
100%.
You paying electric bill, phone bill, you paying
and not just at your house.
not just at your
Somebody
house,
else.
at their house.
Yeah.
You paying speeding tickets. They come to you for everything. You paying groceries. You paying mortgages. You paying this. Try to do that for 1 or 2 people.
Yeah.
Now think you're doing that for 10, 12 people.
Yeah.
I mean, I know guys that's been doing that for a long time, for a lot. So my thing is, you have a lot of benefits, and I'm not complaining at all, man. You have a lot of benefits for being a professional in any field.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I'm just going to throw this out there now that we're talking about kids and doing, things for others like you're speaking of, Archie. You also have a school, correct? That's called the Archie Talley Middle and High School?
Yes.
Which promotes a unique approach to learning. What are some of the positive impacts that you hope to make in your students' lives with this special school?
I've had a lot of blessings. A lot of blessings. But they came to me. I didn't even know. This was like out of the blue. They came to me and said, all the work you've done, they meaning the people in Miami, because this is a global thing. And I thought it was going to be a charter school. Nothing wrong with charter schools, but some charter schools have certain standards, some don't.
Right.
Ours is a private school, just like Charleston. I mean, and wait
It's private.
But wait till you see it. I went in there and I said, now I've never been in awe. Chandeliers? I said, chandelier in school?
Oh, my
I said,
goodness.
my gracious.
Wow.
I said, wow. I was so happy for our children.
Yeah.
But my point is, and I've seen Carl and I, we've seen our name in a lot of different places but when you see your name on a school, it's different.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's different. It's not Archie Talley, ball player. It's none of that. It's like, wow, you made a difference, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You made a difference, man.
Yeah.
I looked at my name in red. I'd never seen my name in red. And I said, red? I said, what are y'all talking about? Red, man. It's sissy color. Red. I look up. And it looked like a tower in New York. I said, whoa. But that left me real quickly. So you know what? The first thing I said, I almost had tears in my eyes. I said,
I'm sure you did.
I said,
That's special.
difference. Making a
Yes.
difference.
You're a
And our
difference
school,
maker.
and the thing I like about our school, I can tell you so many things, but I'm not going to get all into it. But the thing I like, the first thing I asked them, is this an accredited school? Because a lot of schools are not accredited. The degree means nothing. They said, oh, trust me, Archie. And to make a long story short, you're in education, but I didn't know this until I'm finding out from my dean, and I'm getting updated on everything. Carl and Hollis. Every school, middle school and high school in the United States, all of them, have an accreditation score.
Yes.
It's a score. The highest you can get, the highest is 400. That's the highest. Most people get 125, 100, 125, hovering around that. If you get the average is 153 score. The average. That means, man, you getting it done. in your school. That covers it, and they vet everything from the staff to the curriculum to everything. 153 is nice. Guess what our score was?
What's that?
325.
That's what's up.
Oh,
Wow.
so at graduation last
Absolutely.
So at graduation last year, I told the students, and I'm gonna say it again this year, because we graduate next week. I said, let me tell you something. I'm not down in any school. Every school is trying. I'm a teacher's guy. You talk about teachers, you got to fight me.
Yeah.
I'm a teacher's guy.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm a teacher's guy. Can I say it again?
You know who you're speaking to here, so
I'm a
you've already
teacher.
won my heart, Archie.
I'm a teacher's guy.
Yes, yes.
I have a whole segment on that in my talk. But when I see an accreditation like that, I tell the students, I said, let me tell you, because they looked up, I said, let me tell you something. Your degree means something. I said, and not just high school, but college. I said, I'm a national speaker. I go everywhere. You name it. L.A., St. Louis. And I said, I go to schools where kids are in 10th grade and they can't read and write.
100%.
Now how that happen?
And getting past, too.
And getting past.
Yes.
3.0.
Getting past.
Yeah.
So graduation looks great, right? Graduation, you got the cap and gown, everybody's crying, you set the, you know, oh, it's so nice. And the kids get out and that wears off after, 2-3 weeks, month?
Sure.
And they can't get a job. I went down to, was Circuit City, one of the places that had the Geek Squad. You ever heard of that?
Yes.
Best Buy.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it before,
Yes,
but I
Best
went
Buy,
down there.
you're right.
One of the smartest kids I ever seen. He was not a kid anymore. He's 28. And we were talking. This kid is bright. He said, Mr. Talley. I said, you're very intelligent. He said, yeah, but I can't even write my name. He was showing me how to write his. He couldn't even write his name. I said, that's not your fault.
Yeah.
I said, this didn't teach you. I said, so my point is, a lot of students now are getting empty degrees. Let me say that again, empty. Meaning, oh, you're graduating, but you're taking basketball weaving 2. You're taking doorknob polishing 1 class. You're taking, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I'm being
Yep.
sarcastic,
There's a
but
lot of studies
Yeah.
on that, too.
There's a lot.
That's facts.
it's a lot.
Facts
It's a
what
lot
you're
of
saying.
classes, and colleges are like that too. I don't have to tell you.
Yeah.
A lot of colleges, and I get upset. I said, "Wait a minute, now we're cheating these kids. You
Absolutely.
cannot." My dean of students and my top advisor, he said, Archie, because we were almost in tears, man, because you just can't not do this to these kids. We said, Archie, it's cruel. Cruel. I said, it's a good word. It's cruel to let a kid go. How do you get past? When do you learn to read? 2nd, 3rd? I don't know.
First grade.
First
Starting
grade.
in kindergarten now,
Okay.
really. Mm-hmm.
How can you get to 6th grade without being able to? I'm talking about can't
Yeah.
read at all.
Yeah.
They can't add, subtract, multiply, or divide without using a calculator. Don't misunderstand me. I'm a technologies guy. They can't look up a word in a dictionary without Googling it. I'm a Google guy. I got 4 dictionaries in my house. I never use them, ever, ever, ever. But I know how to.
Yeah.
And people say,
Right.
what's the
There's
significance?
the point.
What's the significance in that, Archie? I said, you know what significance is? It teaches kids how to go through a process to get an answer. What does that do? It teaches them how to problem solve. Everything you do in life is problem solving. That's why in most cities, 12, 13-year-old, I get calls every day from D.C., 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds are killing each other. They're killing you and me. They don't care how famous I am. If I come home and I got a car and they got something in it valuable, they'll kill me. Why? They go from 0 to 100. They don't know how to problem solve. Now, I'm not saying that the all and above is teaching them how to manually do math and things. But I think it's very important to teach them how to do some of these
the
things.
thought process.
I just think
Duality.
the thought
Yeah,
process.
be able to do
Hollis,
both.
Yeah.
that's just me. What do you think?
No, I agree 100% because I think you develop those critical thinking skills at an early age. So that way you're able to not only identify a problem, you're able to assess it, and then your mind is naturally going to go to solutions. So you'll be able to work out different solutions through hypotheses and different things of that nature without necessarily getting frustrated and then kind of giving up on it, going from that 0 to 100. But I wanted to ask you, and we're going to get back to the school, but I want to ask just some like who would Archie Talley, who to give some like some current, some presentism, who would you compare your game? Who did Archie Talley play like that kids may be familiar with today?
Today?
Yeah,
You
or
know,
today, or maybe even in the 90s. But just who will be compared to your game?
But it's funny you said that because some of my NBA guys call me. Adrian Dantley, you heard of him?
Yes, sir.
He call me every week. You want to watch the game? That's how he talk. You watch the game? Watch the game, baby? I said, Adrian, I don't watch the NBA. They carry the ball too much.
Oh man,
They
sound like this guy.
They carry the ball. They were taking 3 steps. Now they're taking 4.
Yeah, it is.
I said, I don't
get
know.
Carl started on all of
Yeah,
it.
they start taking 4. They can't shoot. They can't shoot a free throw. They're shooting 58% from the free throw line and applauding. Yeah, man, I'm shooting good. I said, you shooting 58% from the free throw line? I can drop kick it and make more than that.
Yeah, I believe you too.
So my point is, and don't misunderstand me, these guys are skilled. It's lazy. If they're going to let you get by with 3 steps, why not take it? I guess.
Amen.
Why not take it? But it doesn't make the game interesting to me. I haven't watched the NBA game in so long. I try. And I said, man, let me go watch Andy Griffith's show.
Hey, Lisa's pointing at me, bro. You said exactly what I
Yes.
said about football. Like I just can't. I can't look at it because like I don't want to judge the dude that's playing. Like I don't want to act like I'm better than that guy or none of that. But I'm like looking at him and I'm trying to figure out he's playing man to man and he's getting beat and I'm like, dude, all you got to do is just this or that and you could cover him. And
Well, let me ask you a different question. So, what was, for those who don't know, what was your how would you describe your style of play?
ooh, I think that I'm gonna
My style-
say unique.
That's exactly
my
what
style
the
of
word.
play was most guys are either a shooter or a scorer. Mm-hmm. And if I had to choose between a shooter and a scorer, I'd choose a scorer every time because it doesn't look good. Good example, Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley can't shoot a lick, but he can score
Yeah.
whenever he wants. If you can get to wherever you want to get on your sweet spot on the court, no matter how you get there and score, that's a scorer. It may not look good, but you can do it. But if you're a shooter and you're off, if you're just a shooter, now I love shooters now, but if you're just a shooter and you're off, you're not going to have a good night. But if you're both, there's very few guys that are both. I consider myself as both. Pete Maravich. I mean, I'm talking about both, where if you have an off night scoring, or off night shooting, you can see it. I scored 50 against Glenville one time, and a coach came up to me and we lost. I said, man, how we lose? And coach said, you're a 50-point man. I said, but we lost. So he said, you're a scorer and a shooter, huh? I said, well, I don't know. I just know we lost. You know? I just know we lost. But my point is, and I learned that from the playgrounds of D.C., and I say this all the time on interviews. I said, let me tell y'all something. They said, Archie, how in the world do you score 40? Because my scoring average goes up every time I meet somebody. Hey, Carl and I...
This is the best one ever.
Carl and I was talking about the other day. You walk into the grocery store, I can't, even today, every single day, we were just talking about it. Somebody walking to me, Arch, what's up, baby? My man. I have no clue who it is. But I act like I know, yeah, how you doing, man? You remember me, Arch. I'm the guy in the red sweater in 1972 that was sitting in the stands watching you. I saw every game you played, baby. I said, yeah. I said, my man, give me 5, you know?
My man.
I said, give me 5, man. I walk away, they said, who's that? I said, man, I have no clue who he is. And then I'll get the ones that come up with their buddies, you know, halfway through. They say, hey, Arch, would you please tell this guy, we got a standing bet. Would you tell my buddy here that you average 75 points a game? Would you please tell him that? Tell him. I said, look, man, I averaged 41. No, see, Arch, I saw every game you played.
So you averaged 41 in a season?
In the season, yeah.
You averaged 41 points in a season.
Yeah, but-
41.1.
But my junior year, I was second, number 2 in the nation. I averaged 35. My sophomore year, I averaged 30. And my freshman year, I averaged like 23, something like that.
So you went 23, 30, 30, and then 40.
23, 30, 35, and 41.
God. Listen,
How many
I'm
points
telling
is
you,
that?
Listen, I'm telling you, when he was here, anywhere, if he played anywhere,
you see.
yes, everybody is coming. Okay. Everybody's coming. Bro, I'm sitting up in there waiting to see him. Uh-huh. He was by far the biggest draw of a college player. Mm-hmm. Football, football, basketball,
Whatever
Yeah.
it was, he was the draw.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even really, I don't even think it was necessarily just the sports. I mean, just the shooting. I mean, the ball handling, just the way he would shake people, and I mean, it was just like crazy.
And I guess that's kind of my point, and we've made this point on this show a bunch, because I think what happens now is the game, in football a little bit, but basketball definitely, and even baseball to a point, it's become so robotic, right? Because to your point, you grew up playing on a playground, so you had to be fluid, and you had to be natural, and you had to be creative, and you wanted to be yourself. Like, I didn't want to be like, I might take a couple of his moves, but I'm gonna develop my own style. And I think sometimes, like, when we look at sports now, it ain't a lot of style in it no more. Does that make sense?
That individual,
like
your
good way
own
to put it.
individual style
Yeah.
didn't show up.
Yeah.
And I can assure you that no matter what game you saw and he was in it, it was different. He was different. Like, he was different than anybody else.
How would you
out
describe
there.
his playing style? Just to put it in context.
I would probably say he was the excellent shooter, but he also had like the handles, like just handling the ball, just all of those. Like, he was a complete.
So that's like a Steph Curry, Allen Iverson type of deal, where you shoot
you
it
got
and,
the shooter and you got the ball handler.
Got it.
But you know a key, and Carl doesn't remember that he told me this. So I don't forget anything. He gonna say, I told you that. And this is the same concept. And he told me this, I don't know how many years ago. And I never forgot this. Carl said, Carl, what happens when a guy talks trash? He said, Archie, I remember this one particular guy. Well, I mean, a lot of guys talk trash, He said, I remember this one particular guy that he was talking something. And he said, you know what? When you use reverse psychology, because a lot of guys, they get mad, they scream, they curse, and all that. Carl said, I didn't say anything. He said, you know what I did? The next play, Arch, I caught him at the right time, and I almost knocked his head off. and you remember that? I almost knocked his head off. I said, what did you say? Nothing.
Yeah.
I said nothing to him. I just walked away. I said, now, then that reminds me of when people say, how do you average 41 a game? You're getting fouled every people talking trash to me all the time. Oh, Talley, you won't do this. Talley, you won't do that. Guys getting in the game, guarding me, they want to waste 5 fouls. So they put 5 different guys on me just to waste fouls. So a guy getting in the game, he hasn't played since last Christmas.
Just to foul you?
Yeah, so he gets in the game, all stocky. Yeah, Talley. All you can understand him saying.
And you all are missing this visually.
Yeah, I'm looking at him like he's crazy.
Visuals are unbelievable.
Yeah,
we need video for this.
I'm just looking at him like this, and he comes in the game. Now, remember, he's coming in the game. He hadn't played. And he's coming, he's all pumped up, steam coming out of his head. Talley. And all I could understand was Talley. He said, Talley, you're not going to score on me. Talley. And I sit there and I look at the guy and I start whispering to him. Because the softer my voice got, the madder he got.
Oh,
yeah. He said, Talley, you won't score, Talley. I said, look, man, what would you want? I said, most of the time, coaches control how long a player plays. I said, I control how long you play in this game.
Oh.
And he got mad. What you talking?
I would be mad too.
He said, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
You just threw gasoline on a fire.
I said, look. I said, if you just do me a favor. I said, just try to guard me. I know how tough it is. Try to guard me. Do the best you can. Keep your mouth shut. What I'll do, I'll score a bucket here, bucket there, free throw, bank shot. I'll spread the points out. They don't look as bad. You play the whole game. You talk trash, I'm going to come in 3 in a row, you're going right back out. He's like, blah, 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 blah. I come down 35 feet, boom, boom, boom. The buzzer goes, boom, he's going out. I tap him. I said, so you could have played longer than that. I said, your coach don't control this, man. But I had to learn that because my coach told me, because I'm from D.C., I had a hot head. Well, not hot. My freshman year, I was like, wanting to fight people. He said, Archie, this guy's going to be putting up boxes in a grocery store. You're going to be in the NBA. The NBA don't know about all this trash talk. They looking at your character. You can't do this, man. You got to find a way to control. I wasn't angry, but you got to try to find a way to talk to people and get your point. I said, well, Coach, nobody's going to talk to me, and I'm not going to say anything back. Then you can say something back, but just be creative about it. I said, okay. So what I used to do, Lisa, what I used to do is, this is how I scored a lot, because what I learned from the playground in D.C., I don't know about here, but in D.C., when you're coming up, you had great players. And if you called a foul, you were considered soft.
It was like that on our playground.
Yeah.
It was like
You were
that.
considered soft.
Everybody mad.
Yeah, everybody mad.
So I never, they said, what you keep calling the ball? So I never called a foul.
Foul.
It's too
Even
much
if they
of a-
foul me.
It's too much of an argument. Just let it go.
Yeah.
Just go
Yeah. But my thing is, if you're not going to call the ball, you got to either make it, you got to make the shot. You can't just, because you're going to hurt your team. So I said to myself, okay, you got to call it or make it. So I started making it. No matter what they did to me, I said, if you don't get my wrist where it goes up here, you can do whatever you want down here, do all this stuff. But if you don't get from here,
So
where
you get
it
that
bends,
shooting hand.
from here where it bends, it's in. And I thought that way. Then remember, in Salem, my whole 4 years, I was fouled every game all the time. But I was still making it because the biggest compliment I've ever had in my life, and I've only said this on a few interviews. People said, what's the biggest compliment? 41 points, All-American. I said, I love all that stuff, man. I earned it. I said, but you know the biggest compliment I've had is from referees. They said, from referees. Referees told me, they said, Archie, you know what I noticed about you the most? Is you never said anything to the referee. And I said, wow, I didn't, but I didn't notice it because that's how I am. So I was conditioned, my mind was conditioned to score no matter what you did to me. As long as you weren't trying to hurt me. That's different. But guys that can really play call, they're not really trying to hurt you.
Yeah.
Right.
Hard fouls and hard this and that.
So it's
It's
that
rare.
playground ball really
Playground ball.
toughened you up and taught you to deal with fouls
Deal-
and not complain.
Deal with everything.
Deal with everything.
Deal with adversity. See, nowadays, kids play in leagues all the time. There's nothing wrong with leagues. But I told some of my friends, I said, just let them play.
It is something wrong with it, I think.
I do.
Yeah,
I
it
would
is.
agree
At
with
some
you.
Let them play.
I think at some point, having structure's good. You need it, da-da-da-da-da. But at some point, just go to the park, man.
Let 'em play.
And figure it out on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't got to be in the middle of all this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Just let them play.
Let them go.
And when they get in an argument, adults think they got to come in. Okay, break it. No.
Let 'em fight.
solve it.
They
what,
are.
what we used to do, what we used to do is if you can't, you got guys lined up to play. So if you two are arguing about a call, you holding everyone else up. So you do one or two things: either get off the court or you shoot for it. We call it shoot for it, meaning you can't decide. You know what shoot for it is?
Yep.
You top of the key, hit or miss. You make it, it's your ball. That's what we used to
Yeah, we
solve
used to
it.
do that.
Yeah.
Hit or miss.
So how was the transition coming from D.C.? It was a very metropolitan area at that time, coming to Salem, West Virginia. Like, what was the mindset when you were like?
Man, I got on campus. I got on campus the first day I got there. 'Cause, I got to school by accident. I'm gonna tell you the short version. We played D.C. Have you ever heard of DeMatha High School?
I have one. Our teammates went there at state.
Okay, DeMatha, Mackin. We had about 5 high school. Every high school was great, but we had about 5 in the top in the nation.
Yeah.
And we had a school called Mackin. They were number 2 in the nation. They were tough. All of them were Division I, pros and everything. And it came to our school. Now, we were tough too, but we were small. But we beat them that game, 3 overtimes. What the connection with West Virginia is, the assistant coach from Mackin in D.C. was an alumnus of Salem.
Oh,
So-
there's the
okay.
connection.
So small colleges don't have budgets to travel and recruit. So they'll get somebody that's at a school in Bucktussle, Oklahoma, and say, Coach, I'm down here watching the game. There's a guy who can play. You should watch, So that's what happened. They were trying to recruit this big guy from Mackin, who was Division I, but he was going to do the coach a favor from Salem and said, look, I'll go down there because you went there. And he said, maybe he called the coach of Salem. He said, I got my big guy coming down. He's Division I, but if you get him down there, maybe you can talk him into coming. So the whole big thing, Salem's all excited. They got the whole town out there with the band playing and everything. He said, oh, by the way, I'm gonna bring Big Fred down. His name's Fred Bailey. I'm gonna bring him down on Saturday. There's a guy from the other team that can play too. Can I bring him? He said, I don't care who you bring. As long as you bring the big guy, bring Fred. He said, what's the other guy's name anyway? Archie Talley. He said, Tally, Wally, Bally, I don't care what his name is. Put him in the trunk. Tailpipe, I don't care what you do with him. You just make sure you bring Big Fred. Fred got sick and didn't show up. But there were no cell phones in those days, so we drove 9 hours to Salem. Carl, remember this? Salem's a small town, man.
Yeah.
And this is a big thing for them to have a 6'9" crazy King Kong rebounder and great player.
In the big man era.
And coming down.
Yes.
And they said, this is great. So the whole school was out. The coaching staff, they had the red carpets out, the band's playing. You know, Salem the whole town. And they're anticipating this big guy getting out of his car. The car pulls up quietly. Everything stopped there. I was like, oh, God, this is going to be great. They expected the guy not to open the door, but just to bust out of the ceiling.
Making this big guy.
Like a can opener, right? Growling, Carl, growling.
Oh, my goodness.
So Lisa's cracking up. So all of a sudden,
I've got a front row seat. It's awesome.
So all of a sudden, everything's quiet. Band stops. Everybody's anticipating. Ooh, this is going to be great. I jump out of the car, and you think I'm small now? I look like E.T. I had big old eyes. I'm dark skinned. I'm skinny. They said, "Whoa! Where's Big Fred? Who's this?" Well, Fred got sick. We got to reschedule him. Well, who's this? That's Archie Talley. Who? They forgot about me. But at least he said, "Let me see what you can do." I went out there and played. He stopped it in 15 minutes. Called me over. We drove 9 hours. I thought he was going to cut me. Called me to the side. This happened 50-some years ago. I remember it like it was yesterday. I'm talking to you now. I remember it like it was yesterday.
I'm sure.
It changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm in West Virginia now. He called me to the side. I was sweating profusely. I wasn't tired. I was nervous. I was a poor kid. My father died when I was a junior in high school. I couldn't afford to go to school. I had to get a scholarship. I was like, this guy doesn't want me, man. So my head is down. Coach is looking at me, and he said something to change my life. He said, Archie, son, we want you. We really want you. I screamed, ah! I was jumping up in one spot. I'll never forget it. He was trying to calm me down. I said, ah. And he was talking about grants. I didn't know what a grant was. We can give you B-E-O. We can give you B-E-O-G, Y-E-O-P. I don't know. I'm sitting there looking at him. I said, excuse me, sir. I do not understand what the meaning of these grants are. I have one question to ask you. And the answer to this question is going to determine whether or not I come to your college. He said, what's that, Archie? Do I have to pay anything to go to college for 4 years? He said, you do not have to pay 1 penny. I said, I'll sign. He said, no. He said, no, we don't do it that way. We do it honestly here. You go home and you talk it over with your mother. I said, she'll sign too. I said, I can get some of my boys in the neighborhood to sign. They'll sign. Man, they'll kill me if I come out here and don't sign this thing. So make a long story short, my coach said to me when I got older, he said, Archie, I did not think you were coming. I knew someone made a mistake. And a big college was going to get you before school started. But he doesn't know me. I'm loyal. He the only one that believed in me and gave me a chance. So I showed up on the first day to go to scholars' question, how did I feel when I was Salem? Somebody said, how does it feel to go to a college with an all-white town? I said, it was all white? He said, you didn't know? I said, no, I didn't know. Until you just said it. I don't look at color. I didn't even know it was all white until he just said it. He said, really? I said, I'm telling you. I said, well, I showed up the first day on campus, the first day. I remember I'm from the city. The Godfather movie was out. I was dressing like the Godfather. So I showed up on campus with 2 big steamer trunks, a white suit, a white derby. I'm dark skinned. A white derby, white shirt, red tie, red wet look shoes. Put my
you was sharp, bud.
Sharp dressed man.
I put my things down. Yeah. I said, Coach, I'm here. They said, what, we got a pimp on campus or what? What's going on in this dude here, man? Who is this dude? Showed up, had a great freshman year, made All-American my freshman year, one of the All-American teams. But I was asked to transfer to Memphis State. A lot of places.
I can imagine that.
Yeah.
A lot of places. That's my freshman year. Yeah. Now, they didn't talk to me. They talked to the people on campus. Rumor going around, Archie's transferring. Everyone on campus knew I was transferring, but me. I go up to coach's office. We spoke every day. And he was almost crying. I said, what's going on, coach? He thought I knew. I didn't know because they didn't talk to me about transferring.
Right.
So I go up to his office. Now this is the reason. Excuse me. Can you hear me? No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is the reason that I'm in West Virginia to this day. This right here. I had to tell all that part to get to this part. This is the part. I used to not be able to get through this without crying, but I'm okay now. Mm-hmm. I'm serious. I used to. This is how my coach, this is how much he meant to me and how unique West Virginia people were. Not just him, but people here. I got to his office. He thinks I'm transferring. He doesn't know that I don't know about this rumor. He closes the door. He sits me down. He said, Archie, sit down. I said, oh, my God. You know what I thought? I thought my mother died.
Oh man.
I did, because I had no clue. I had no clue what was. I thought it was bad news. The only bad news I could think of was my mother died. I said, "Oh my gracious, man, my father just died. Come on, please don't tell me that. Please don't tell me that." Yeah. So I'm sitting there, my head down. He said, "Archie," that's what he said to me. He said, "Archie, before you came here to Salem College, I had a long talk with your mother, a long conversation that you know nothing about. And in that conversation with your mother, I promised her that I would make sure that you take the right classes to help you in life to graduate." Let me say that again. The right classes to help you in life to graduate. I didn't take rocket science classes, but I took pretty good classes. I majored in human relations, dealing with people, with an emphasis on kids.
It served you well.
But I didn't know.
Sure.
I would have majored in the easiest thing possible. I was a kid. I didn't care.
Right.
I was one of
Of course.
But he said, the right classes. He said, Archie, I promised your mother I was going to make sure you learn how to drive. I couldn't drive because I wouldn't take driver's ed in high school. We played basketball in the gym. That's where we took driver's ed. I would play. I wouldn't take driver's ed. I'll just play basketball. So I couldn't drive. He taught me how to drive. He went on and on and on. All these things he told me that he would promise my mother. And I'm sitting there saying, where's this conversation coming from? He said, Archie, I heard you're transferring to Memphis State. I just looked at him as he was talking. I said, this guy really cares about me. Because in that conversation, Carl, Hollis, Lisa, in that conversation, I don't remember verbatim everything he said, but I do remember one thing. In that entire conversation, he never mentioned anything about basketball or anything related to basketball one time. Not once. Not once. Other coaches would be, what can we give you? We can give you your mother this. We can fly her here. We can do this and do that. We can give you a little car. We can. Other coaches would, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He never said anything about basketball, anything related to basketball. I looked at him, and he was choked up. I was choked up. I said, Coach, you're the only one to believe in me. You're the only one who gave me a chance. I said, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going. I said, in a very diplomatic and nice way, I'm going to tell all of them to go jump in the lake. He said, but you can go first round. I said, I don't care about that stuff. That's stuff that I tell my students all the time at our students, all the time at our school. I said, you're rich right now. You have things that make you rich now. Mm-hmm. Right now, you have your health, education, your family, your higher power. That's just 4 things that money can't buy that makes you rich. And I've always thought that way. I said, you can't buy me when it comes to certain things. I never had a lot of money. I could because I was rated as one of the top motivational speakers for decades. But Budweiser wanted to sponsor me. I said, y'all must be crazy. You think I'm going to go into school and talk about all these family things and I'm sponsored by Budweiser?
Yeah.
And then Philip Morris wants to sponsor me years ago. I said, y'all must be crazy. They said, Archie, everyone has a price. I said, I don't. And I don't.
That's huge.
And I don't.
That's huge.
I never told a lot of people that, but I don't. And I'm not saying they offer me millions, but they offer me pretty good money that'll make me okay. Yeah. All I had to do is get on the plane and speak. But I said, I will never, ever let a tobacco company or alcohol company sponsor me. And never, ever. Those kids mean too much to me, and I mean too much to them. And people like me, you mean too much to them, Carl. Hollis, you on TV, man. I see you all the time. I saw Lisa. I saw Lisa. I was just telling her. I said, I'm out. I'm gone a lot, but I do catch some of the promo. And I saw the promo What is it, a commercial?
It was a commercial.
I
for
love
school
that
board.
commercial. That's the best commercial I've seen on TV.
I gotta see that. I haven't seen
Lisa,
that. You gotta share it.
See it? Okay.
No. That's one of the best commercials I've seen on TV. Lisa's commercial is great. I said, I didn't know her. I said, that's a great commercial. I said, wow, that's great. But my point is, you know, there's certain things, man, that happen in this state that you never forget. And that's why I'm still here, because they don't name schools after you because you played basketball.
No.
They don't
I
name
like that.
schools after you because you played basketball. Now, don't misunderstand me. Basketball introduced me to the state. Carl, there's millions of guys that are great basketball players.
Right.
They don't name schools after guys because they played basketball. That school is named after me because of the difference I've made decades. And the kind of, not just the difference, the kind of difference.
Right.
And you don't know that until I get hundreds of thousands of letters, if not millions, over what? I've been doing this 45 years or more, of kids, administrators, parents, you name them, sponsors, saying, hey, I remember what you said about this and this and that and that and this. There are some things money can't buy that makes you rich.
100%. I was reading a stat, and they had a stat because, you know, with college athletics now, the transfer rule and everything like that, they had a stat that said like 60, I believe it's like 60-some% of Division II football players who enter the transfer pool end up retiring because they can't find the next step. 60 or 40, something like that. But my point is to say, like, sometimes I think it's such a lost art when we talk about small college athletics, because it can lead to so much if you have that home base, if you have that stability, if you have those relationships that you're able to cultivate there. You can, to your point, you can have that wealth and that richness for your life because you always have that home base. You know, I think about, like, you know, you at Marshall, you at Salem, me at State, you know, playing athletics there was a part of it, but the relationships and the community that was developed because of it is the key, and we'll always be able to, like, go back to that, you know? So I think I just don't, and, you know, kids out there, anybody listening, sometimes there is value in just staying where you're at.
Amen.
Yes.
You know?
Well spoken.
And you know, it's something, and I know we run out of time, but it's something that, and this is just something that reminds me of the whole demeanor of West Virginia people. I said every person in every state, we're human beings. You got certain things that you do or don't do, or personalities and things and that. I said, but years ago, see, Rich Rodriguez, I know very well. I haven't seen him in a while, but I know him very well. When all that stuff happened, I don't get into all that stuff. I said, let me tell you something right now, because they were really mad at him.
Yeah.
I said, oh, no, really, no.
That's an easy way to put it. That's a kind way to put it.
Really mad.
They were upset.
That's a kind way.
But people looked at me like I was crazy. I said, let me tell you something now. I'm not from here, and you guys can say I'm wrong, but I've been here long enough to know the feeling of the people here. It is different from everywhere else that I've been. I've been to places where they're kind. I've never been to a place like this before. I said, now hold on to your seats now. They said, oh, we ain't never going to forgive him. No.
Yeah.
I said, watch. I said, only here. They said, oh, trust me. I had a mechanic say, oh, I'll give you my car. I'm going to go down there and get his car.
Yeah, get that.
I said, I'm going to tell you something. West Virginia people are different, man. They may still be mad at you, but you're still family.
Yeah.
You're still family.
100%.
And I knew they would forgive me. I didn't know when it was going to be.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Some
Yeah.
people are still mad.
Hey, I might have lost my car on that one too, Archie. I might have lost my car on that one. I ain't know.
But people, a lot of people didn't. But didn't people forgive? They were mad.
Right.
But my point is, where can that happen other than here? And I'm talking about emphatically. People are like, man, Archie, you must be crazy. You're not from here. I said, no, I'm not from here. But it's a feeling I get from people here, man. It's just different. I said, it may take them longer to forgive.
Yeah, but they'll forgive you.
But they'll forgive you.
Yeah,
you're right.
And
Some places,
back.
And I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna throw this name in the hat because I think this is blown over. I think the whole Randy Moss dislike or whatever those feelings were, I think those are done.
Yeah,
I think
we love him. I mean, he got to come.
Yeah, I think it's
some stuff with him. But
It's him not knowing that
It's
everybody
love
else
here,
is
bro.
kind of like, look, we're done with it, man. You just come on home.
Yeah.
You know.
And I'm going to interrupt this whole conversation and say this because I know we're almost out of time and I've got all these questions. But you have to come back and never, ever make a long story short. Always make your long stories long
100%.
because you are a true
Right.
storyteller. And I'm sitting here just entranced by you. So thank you for coming on.
Yeah, and we like the information. You're the guy. You're on the show to put out the information. So
Yes.
we don't have no information other than yours.
And one part of this, and I'll let you go. I'll let you close this out. But one part of this is to make sure that we encapsulate and tell the stories of our legends.
Right.
We want to make sure that legends throughout West Virginia, big, small, college, whatever, that if you made an impact on the community through sports and otherwise, we want to have that story here. This is the home for that.
I appreciate it. Lisa, because I know we didn't get your questions in.
You basically did. I'm just, I've just been in.
That's her normal.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's
that's just the way I
she's
am.
the organizer.
Yeah, she's the
But
organizer.
I have enjoyed, I am just like, you are a great motivational speaker. I can see where people and kids respond the way they do to you because
But what I was going to ask you is I like your voice. She got a good voice.
Don't give her that because I'm going to fire her tomorrow.
She got a good voice for TV.
get fired all the time.
TV and radio, you got a good voice.
Thank you.
I don't know how some podcasts can go over a little bit. Do you have anything? Can she ask me one or two things or what?
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't know.
Oh gosh, thank you. I just had the one question that was the most important to me. It was more about your speaking because I've just thoroughly enjoyed this. But in your presentations, you discuss the ingredients of life.
Yes.
And what are the top ingredients you believe that the youth of today need to be successful?
There's quite a few, but I stick with 3 or 4 they can remember. If you say too many, they won't remember.
Sure.
Confidence, determination, hard work, sacrifice. Confidence,
Perfect.
determination, hard work, sacrifice. Confidence, believe in yourself. I tell kids all the time, you don't need everybody to believe in you. And I separate the girls and the boys in my talk. I said, look, there's nothing wrong with you thinking the way you think because you're a female and girls communicate different than guys. Don't apologize for that.
Sure.
That's how it's supposed to be. But don't think your little girlfriend needs to believe in you for you to make it. I said, if she believes in you, fine. But she don't need to believe in you. And guys, don't think your boys, the fellas, the guys need to believe in you. It's great if they do. But if you believe in yourself, then you'll make it. And I give them reasons why and all that later on down the road.
Sure.
The determination, you stay determined and focused on your goals. And you make sure you make it happen. Just like I'm going to say next week in our graduation. I'm going to say a few things because you don't talk long at graduation. But I'm going to say a few things. You know, people don't want you to. But I'm going to say, look. And I encourage all kids that all graduate, because I've spoken at a lot of graduations. I said, when you graduate, kids think that's it. They graduate, they're happy, they go home, and they sit there for 6 months. I said, look, when you graduate, enjoy it. I don't know how long your enjoyment period is, but you get out here and you network. You get out here and you network. And they said, what's network? I said, networking is people that you know. They said, well, I don't know anybody. Yes, you do. You know me, you know Hollis, you know Carl, you know. I said, your parents know people that they probably don't even think they know. Your parents know people they went to school with. One of your parents may have gone to school with Mark Zuckerberg. You don't know, and they don't know. but seriously, I know people that said, you know what? Is that little Mark Zuckerberg? Yeah. I said, you got to ask. You gotta talk. You gotta ask. You can't sit around and wait for success to come to you.
Yes.
You got to make it happen.
Network.
Make success happen. And hard work. Work as hard as it takes for you to make it. And the last one, that's the big one.
Yeah.
Where take care of your bodies. All that junk don't put in your bodies. Give yourself a chance.
Right.
I always tell my friends, we're older now. They say, yeah, but Archie, there was somebody passed along there. My buddies, yeah, we must not have been doing something right. I said, you can do everything right and still pass. True. I said, people die every day, healthy people. I said, some things you can't control. all you do is try to give yourself a chance.
There you go.
I said, God can take me any day now. I don't want to go anywhere. He can take me any day, but I'm not going to give him any help. I'm not going to give him any help.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That was a good one.
I love that.
So sacrifice. Take care of your bodies.
Yeah.
Enjoy the people in your life. Enjoy people that's not in your life. And life's too short to be mad all the time.
100%.
You know what I mean? All this
100%.
people mad and argue. I don't understand that, man.
Especially on the internet. That's
true.
the worst
That's
place
true.
for it.
But I know we have to go, but I really appreciate being here. You know, I do a lot of these deals, and it's very unique when you can have 2-3 people, and it seems like you're just talking to family.
Yeah.
It does. No, it does.
Thank
It
you.
does.
We
Thank
appreciate
you.
that.
And that's
Thank you.
unique. That's unique, Carl.
Yeah.
That's unique.
Oh, we appreciate it. We try to make it feel like home anyway. So,
Yeah.
so we appreciate you coming, man. And we're probably just a little bit over, but
Just a
we'll get
little.
out of here. It was worth it, though.
It
100%
totally was worth it. Thank you
Totally.
so
Thank you.
much for being
Thank
on
you so
with
much.
us.
Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get out of here. We'll get with you next week.